Oh, yeah! It's time for another episode of We Love Comics, the show where we love comics and you should too. Don't forget, We Love Comics, WLC, if you're nasty, is a weekly podcast where I, Vactor, and my comics brother from another mother, Marcus Seaberry, and an
Wait a
occasional
minute,
guest.
we changed the title?
Yeah, we got a new title. There's a lot of new things, Seaberry. Not only did we change the title from Vactor Loves Comics, but now it is We Love Comics. We also changed up the format a little bit. So let's let our listeners know that this episode right here is our tiny bite-sized morsel that we have for the listeners. We're going to call this our pull list episode because this is all the comics we've been reading. When we talk about a topic or something that Seaberry wants to rant about, that's going to be our giant-sized episode. So we're going to have two. You're going to get double the Seaberry, double the fun, twice as much for the price of none. It's free. You don't pay anything. But I do want to let everybody know that We Love Comics is a podcast where I, Vactor, am trying to get caught up on all the comics I missed out on. I got snapped away 5 years ago. I'm back from the blip. I want to know what happened. Seaberry, he came back 5 years older. I was like, what happened, Seaberry? You were just a young lad. Now you're a strapping young boy. What happened? So I gotta know. I gotta get caught up on all these comics, Seaberry. That's why some of the comics I talk about today are not what came out this week, but you are going to talk about the new releases for this week. Captain America #0. We'll get into that in a second. But Seaberry, my goal is to get caught up on everything I missed out on during the blip. What's your goal for this podcast?
Okay. Quite simply, I want to have fun, man.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about comics. You know, I'm affiliated with another podcast, Black Nerd Power, but you know, I get to do 2 books on there, but you know, I'm the only person reading comics over there. So, you know, God bless them. It's cool, but it's just not the same type of interaction we can have here. And I feel a need to remind people that, hey, you know, Marcus Seaberry is an important voice in this social media nerd world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I kind of feel a need to resurrect the brand a bit,
Yeah.
or polish up the brand a bit. And also, it's a chance to reconnect with you, Vector. Like, you know, I haven't physically seen you in darn near 13 years, man.
Dang.
Cause you know, I know Memphis wasn't your favorite of places or most favorite of places. Just like, I'm out, peace. Yeah, dude, and I'm bad about traveling. Like I started going to Atlanta for cons, but then
Hey, isn't that where you saw Xavier Woods?
Yes. I was yeah, I interviewed him and
Nice.
I was super nervous. I felt like I ruined it because I'm like, I finally get to be with a WWE superstar. And my nerves and lack of confidence just ruined the experience. It did. My Black Nerd Power co-host, he exchanged numbers with him because at that point, I think they were both new fathers.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
so I was like, dang.
you can't compete with that, Seaberry.
But yeah, man, like I said.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't compete with that, but here on We Love Comics, you can share all of your comic nerddom, Seaberry. No restraints, no shackles. Seaberry is unleashed. So I am very happy you're here, Seaberry. Hey, Seaberry, before we get started, real quick, guess what I got? I just got this in the mail. It is a Batman of Zur-En-Arrh.
Man, this ain't fair. New niggas in the other room.
So that's gonna go on display over here.
Doing now. Next episode, y'all gonna see my new feet.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be on our giant-sized episode, Seaberry. But let's get into some comics, Seaberry.
Okay.
So you're up first, Seaberry, because you had the actual new stuff. Well, actually, I read something new this week too, Hulk #6. But you talk about Captain America #0 because I also read that one, Seaberry.
Yes, yes. Here we are, people.
Nice.
Captain America #0. This is written by Tochi Onyebushi, who's also going to be writing the Sam Wilson book, and which is called Captain America: Symbol of Truth. Then also Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. They're going to be writing the Steve Rogers book, Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty. Artist Mattia de Iulis. And okay, I guess that person did the colors too. All right, fancy pants. Well, basically, Arnim Zola is back up to his old tricks. He's launching all these warheads that were hidden in buildings, and he's trying to turn humanity into what he calls Zolosaurs, I guess some kind of dinosaurs. And we got Captains America, Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson going into action. Man, here's the thing. When I read long runs with Steve Rogers, he comes out boring.
Hmm.
But in small bursts, well, like when everything's on the line, he's either gonna give me a speech or he gonna talk that talk. Like, look, there's a moment where Zola talking all that Hitler stuff, and he was like, "You admire Hitler, Zola?" And then he punched him and says, "Go meet him." I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
talk that talk, man. And, and then my other favorite part is they were trying to figure out how to differentiate between both of them being Captain America, and
Yeah.
Falcon's like, you you gonna be astonishing Captain America, or is that gonna be me?
You be the
And then later
uncanny
on,
Captain
they were
America.
like, huh?
You be the uncanny Captain America.
Yeah, yeah. Then one of them said, I think Uncanny Captain America suits you. Not spectacular Captain America. Why don't you take Uncanny? Yeah, that was funny, and also I love, man, Mark Brook is really good at these like cast of thousands type covers,
Yeah, that's the one you
which I
got.
also love. And yeah, yeah. Cause it's just, and it's funny, man. Also, a lot of people come down, I think, un unjustifiably hard on Sam Wilson. Oh, Sam's a house Negro and he's just Captain America's boy. And it's like, nah, man. They're friends and occasional partners. Like if you read, they've had beefs and disagreements, but like, I ain't gonna fool with you. Well, I ain't gonna fool with you. And they go their separate ways. Like, nah, dude, like I think it's because Falcon's not like old big superhero dude. And sometimes he's a little maybe corny and not cool. But it's like the character's been a social activist since high school. And he's a social worker first. Like he's all about, hey, how are we doing? How can we help the situation? How can we help the community? Like my favorite incarnation or version of Falcon was in his '80s miniseries, where he was mediating the truce between two POC gangs, running for office, dating a woman, and doing bad guy stuff. And it's like
Dang.
that's my guy, man. And like I'm definitely going to be collecting his book. And also, shout out to Tochi Onyebuchi, who's going to be writing Sam's book, because I first knew him from a novel. It's a YA novel called War Girls, about these black women in the futuristic Africa fighting in giant robots. I started reading it. I need to finish. Then he has another YA book. Then he made an adult novel, and recently he's been he wrote kind of like a young Black Panther miniseries.
Black
So
Panther Legends.
Tochi, thank you. So Tochi is kind of making the transition, and like I said, based on this issue, and I hate to keep bringing up this guy, but I feel like his stuff would be better than when
Nick Spencer.
what was the one Ta-Nehisi Coates tried
Oh,
to write
right.
comics.
Yeah. Did you read any of the Nick
They were
Spencer?
so boring.
Did you read any of the Nick Spencer Sam Wilson book?
Probably until I told you, Nick Spencer lost me when he turned Steve Rogers. a Hydra agent. I
Dang.
really didn't care for that. I really ain't been messing with Nick. Then they put him on Amazing Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, so y'all going first y'all had him turn Captain America to a Nazi. Now y'all gonna put him on my favorite character. That's what we doing. I was like, no, sir. Maybe one day I'll eventually get over it, but I'm petty and I hold grudges. So I'm like, I haven't quite come around to reading Mr. Spencer's work yet.
Yeah.
Again.
And I was gone, like I said, I was snapped away, so I also did not get a chance. My only Sam Wilson Captain America has been on the Disney Plus TV show. That's the only one that I've been experiencing.
Yes.
But you know what I really liked on this book? This Matea de, and I'm butchering his name probably, Illis.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen their work, and I thought it was Alex Ross when I was looking at it, and it was that painted style. Plus, Alex Ross did both of the covers, Steve Rogers and a Falcon cover. But yeah, I really liked the Matea's art in this. I thought it was really well done, and I like the story setting up both Cap books. I'll probably check out at least the first issue of both of them just to see where they're going. But it brings up an interesting thing. So we've had things before where two characters were the same, or I should say, two people were the same character name, right? Like back in the day when we had Bucky Cap and we had Steve Cap, with Miles Morales and Peter Parker both being Spider-Man, and we got even Ben Reilly running around as Spider-Man. Do you like it when more than one person takes on that same identity, or do you like it to be kind of like, all right, this is Misty Knight is just Misty Knight, like T'Challa's only Black Panther, although they've had many Black Panthers, but do you like him as just one, or do you like him as multiple?
I prefer one, but I'm reading Miles Morales and not Peter Parker now. So, and then okay, here's my thing with what I call foul cap in the past. It was okay when he first got it, because Steve Rogers had the super soldier serum drained from him. He was all old and sickly,
right?
So he couldn't be Captain America. But I tried reading it, and man, it was Sam's book was just silly to me.
Oh.
At certain points, and like I don't know, I just wanted him to be a little more confident, and then also I lost hope in him as Cap once they returned Captain America back to his normal health and vitality. He got the super soldier serum back in him, because I was like, well, now Sam Wilson is Captain America Jr.
Right.
It feels like he instantly became less than.
Yeah.
Now this one, Sam Wilson's supposed to be the public Cap, and Steve Rogers is the Black Ops Cap, from the articles I've read, from my understanding. I'm like, if they do it like that might be cool. And also, I need Tochi to do the complete opposite of what the last person who wrote a Falcon book did. This dude had Sam Wilson speaking all this slang and yo, homie, and I was like, dude, that's not Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, baby. Because here's a pro tip. People who aren't African American, all of us don't have the same speech patterns. And I think this was a black guy, and I guess he was just like, well, Falcon's gonna use slang now, and I'm like, but sir, he does not. Like Falcon's a bit of a uptight character. Like he's not, Mr. Loosey Goosey. Like, yeah, let's party. That's not Sam Wilson. He's all about duty and doing the right thing. He's not fun at parties. Okay. So, but to answer the question, I mean, I don't really care for it, but I guess I'm kind of dealing with it, and I'm grateful in the case of the Spider-Man, because, like I said, I'm just not a fan of what they're doing to Peter Parker these days. So I'm like, let me get Miles, but
yeah, it's nice to have.
We will touch on that in the future.
Oh yeah, we definitely will, Seaberry. Let's get into our rating for this book. Now, we forgot our rating system last week, but basically we're doing a burn, borrow, buy system. If you did not like the book, you're gonna burn it. If you like it, it was okay. You're gonna borrow it. Like let's say you went to the library and borrowed a book. If you love it, you're gonna buy it. So, what is your rating for Captain America #0, Seabury?
I'm gonna say bye, man. You know I'm biased. I believe, like, I just have become such a Sam Wilson defender, mainly because of my Black Nerd Power co-host always calling him a house Negro, and I just feel the need to defend this oft maligned, often misunderstood character.
Nice. Well, I'm kind of sitting in between a borrow and a buy. Like I really liked, like I said, I really liked the art, and I like that it's kind of a setup for what's going to happen in the Captain America books. But there wasn't that wow factor for me that put me over the top. So I'm gonna go borrow on this one. But I did like it. I think you guys should check it out. But if you have a chance, maybe Seabury will let you borrow his copy. How about that?
Never.
So the only new book I got to read this week was Hulk #6. And Seabury, this is the wrap up of Donny Cates's his first story with Ryan Otley on the art, which I talked about last week. I'm a Ryan Otley mark, Seabury. Anything Ryan Otley does, I'm gonna get it. I love it. I loved Invincible. I loved him on Amazing Spider-Man, and I love him on Hulk. This wrap up of Smashtronaut. Now, Seabury, how much do you know about the Smashtronaut storyline?
Basically, the Hook is a meat Gundam, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like Banner's mind is almost like piloting Hook like it's a giant robot or something.
You
And
got it.
yo, I like that premise because, like, dude, I know I'm in the minority. I don't like dumb Hook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just doesn't float my boat.
Yeah. That's definitely something, yeah, I think an acquired taste. But I really liked what Donny Cates did on this. He actually had like three different banner like identities floating around, and it got kind of confusing a little bit because it's almost like you're in the sunken place, and then you're on top of that you're incepting, and it's like multiple layers. But at the end of this, it was cool because they kind of pulled back to like basically like our reality and the actual Hulk himself, and I liked the way that Donny Cates kind of he explored another side of Banner's personality because Hulk's been around for what 40 years, 50 years, who knows, whatever it is, and they've
I
had
think
multiple.
since the 60s, so
Yeah,
it's like 60 years of this one.
yeah, they've had so many writers come on Hulk and talk about his id and his persona and all this stuff, his identity. It's hard to find something new, right? When you've had 60 years of backstory. So I really liked what Donny Cates came on here and did. And then, like I said, Ryan Otley, he knocked it out of the park. This whole first arc, Smashtronaut, was great. I thought like he did all the gory, bloody stuff that he did on Invincible, but with Hulk. So I really liked it. What it sets up, Seabury, do you know what it's setting up?
I have no idea.
Thor and Hulk are coming to are bumping
Oh,
heads.
okay. I've seen solicits for that.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I got my pull list back, but it's not the massive list it was in decades past. I have like 12 to 13 books on my pull list. So like, and like this wasn't even on my pull list this week. I was just like, hey, Captain America now. I'm gonna add the Sam Wilson book to my pull list. I don't know, man. I just been trying to read what I like, but it's like I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I'm not reading a lot of the heavy hitters at the moment. Probably the most mainstream title I'm reading right now is X-Men.
Oh,
You
okay. Well,
know,
that's good.
especially Marvel. Like I said,
Yeah, that's good, Seabury, because you can come on and tell us what's going on in X Men, because I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in X Men. So you're a resident X nerd on this one. But Donny Cates is writing Thor and he's writing Hulk. So it's like, all right, I'll just write both of them and they'll fight each other. And it's supposed to celebrate their 60th anniversary for both characters. Actually, I was a couple seconds ago, I was wondering how long, and I forgot. They specifically said at the end of this book, this is the Hulk's 60th anniversary. So I'm looking forward to this. It's Hulk versus Thor, Banner of War, and it's Thor's book and Hulk's book are going to be colliding. So next issue 7 of Hulk and then issue 25 of Thor are going to be this crossover where they're fighting each other. Because the very last panel of this book, you see Mjolnir coming in, and Hulk's like, "What is that?" And that's the end of the book. So
Oh wow.
it was a good,
I'm with it.
yeah.
Man.
It
I'll
was
probably
a
buy
good
that in
trade.
trade.
Yeah, it's definitely. It looks like September the trade's coming out, so that's actually going to be a really good one to get. But Hulk number 6 is a buy for me, Seaberry. I really like that whole Smash or Not storyline, so definitely check that out in trade when you get a chance. Something I also liked this week, Seaberry, was Batman Superman World's Finest, number 1 and 2, written by Mark Waid. Now, if you are a Mark Waid fan from way back, this is your book, Seaberry. This is classic Batman, classic Superman, classic Mark Waid. Like, this is what I remember. Like, this is I got nostalgia reading this because there's
Do
been.
they like each other?
Yes, they're best friends in this book. And
Oh, cause see, that's what I grew up on.
yes,
Reading
that's
the first World Finds. I remember reading a story where this sentient dark cloud called the Adorer wanted taking Batman hostage. And Superman was messed up because he couldn't find his buddy. To the point where Flash said something rude to him and he swung on Flash. But you know, Barry Allen was super fast and like, it's cool. You almost got me, but hey, calm down, big fella. Like I missed it. I miss Superman and Batman being buddies,
yes.
man. Like, cause once they did Man of Steel and Batman One and all that, they went from darn near adversaries to like, I guess kind of when Jeff Lowe was doing Superman and Batman, it was like, I guess uneasy allies. Like, no, I want Superman and Batman to be buddies, man. So thank you. And also thank you, whoever said, hey, let's bring back World's Finest. Because that was the title of their team up book when I was a young pup, like back in the early 80s, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And like I said, this is right up your alley, Seabury. I was like nostalgic for the late 90s, early 2000s when I was getting back into comics. And I love Mark Waid. Like, he is a, one of the bright spots, one of the most optimistic writers that I've seen. And I just loved World's Finest 1 and 2. Basically, the storyline, real quick, Superman is fighting Metallo, gets a red kryptonite cocktail. It's like a bunch of red kryptonite shards mixed all into one, injected into his heart. So not only is he having, this is the old time continuity where the red kryptonite changes Superman every time it's different. So not only is that, but it's a bunch of little shards. So he's changing like over and over and over again. So then they got to call the Doom Patrol to come in, go into his bloodstream and do all this stuff. Man, it is great. I loved it. Superman, Batman, World's Finest, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 1 and 2, art by Dan Mora, written by Mark Waid, gets a buy from me, Seaberry, 100%. I loved it. Another thing that I enjoyed, Seaberry, I was trying to get caught up. I did not get fully caught up, but Spider-Gwen Gwenverse number 1. Now, this is Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, but like her into the Spider-Verse, basically. So she's going around different timelines because this super weird girl where she was trying to be a meme. She was trying to steal all of her fans' energy and turn it into a meme and all this stuff. It's kind of a convoluted thing. But anyways, it's a ends that justify the means, or means that justify the ends, where everything is Gwen. So there's a Thor Gwen, there's a Spider Gwen, there's a Hulk Gwen, there, Wolverine Gwen. It's all the Gwens that you can take. And written by Tim Seeley, pencils by Jody Nishijima. You know, that's another thing, Seaberry. When I left, there was not a whole lot of Japanese influence in comics. When I came back, there's so many books that look like manga and anime. I was like, this is crazy. And you just said the writer on Captain America, that was a Japanese name. I was like, oh, this is like the Japanese, like the
Well,
British
no,
invasion.
actually, Tochi's black.
Oh shoot, that the name sounds very similar. But I love when they can get these creators that the diversity is way higher. Let's put it that way. From when I left.
Oh, sir, the manga influence is deliberate because manga is selling, but I don't think they get it. The reason I think manga sells is A, they're doing stories and styles that appeal to the young people. They got their finger on the pulse of what's here now. And also, they have consistent creative teams.
Ooh.
Like you go through volumes 1 through 10 of a manga, it's not gonna deviate that much.
Yeah.
Freaking, I don't know, Marvel and DC like round robins, man. I'd be like, okay, so who writing it now? Who's drawing it now?
Yeah.
But they trying to compete. So good luck.
Yeah. I definitely feel you on that. And I think as this podcast goes on, we're going to get into more independent stuff because right now it's a lot of Marvel DC stuff, but we're probably going to get more indie as we go along. But yeah, I really liked this book, Gwenverse #1. A cool setup to that cover is great too by David Nakayama, a Japanese name, where it's like I said, there's a Iron Man Gwen, there's a Thor Gwen, there's a Captain America Gwen, Wolverine Gwen, all of them in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm aware. Like I said, my comic book store makes the little. It's like previews, but all
right.
Marvel.
Right.
Like they make it available for free. So I always pick it up and read just to see what's coming out. And because I'm a bit of a fogey, I also read comic shop news every week. They're like, oh, let me get my comic shop news and sit down. That's me. So,
nice.
So like I tend to know, I at least see what's coming out. It's like floating around in the back of my mind. Then when it finally comes, I'll be like, oh, I read about that.
You know, I didn't even know about this book, but in my local comic shop, Atomic Comics, there was a huge poster on the wall. Actually, it was when our friend Ben Songer was visiting, and I took him to Atomic Comics. We were walking out the door, and I said, hey, look, there's a Gwen book, because his wife loves Spider-Gwen. And he turned around, immediately asked the guy working there, hey, where is this? So he ended up buying the book, and that's what put it on my radar. And I said, okay, I got to pick that up. So I ended up reading it, enjoyed it. Actually, I would give that one a buy as well. So Gwenverse #1, it's off to a good start. So we'll see where it goes. Definitely want to check that out. And then Seaberry, wrap it up. I'm real Marvel heavy, and we're gonna actually do a topic on that one too in the future. I want to talk about Marvel versus DC, what's going on. But I have been loving everything that Marvel's been putting out recently. So I got a chance to continue my Ghost Rider reading. I read #1. I picked up #2. This one came out late March. Written by Benjamin Percy. Pencils by Brent Peoples and Corey Smith. And I'm going to say I wanted to see what the current status quo was on Johnny Blaze. And I saw it. And that's probably it from me, Seaberry. I'm probably going to step away from Ghost Rider. 2 issues was enough for me. I'm going to give it a burn, Seaberry. It was not my cup of tea for the current Ghost Rider series.
I'm not a horror / occult guy. I'm just not. Now, when Donny Cates was writing Ghost Rider and he was getting into legacy Ghost Riders and different Ghost Riders, and there was like either a shark Ghost Rider or a Ghost Rider riding a shark, just all kinds of funky, wacky stuff. People were describing it to me in a comic book store, and I was like, that sounds cool. Like, one day I might hunt that down, or if it comes back in print or something. But like, same with like Punisher, man. Like, dude, the only way I got Punisher issue, Target no, not Target, Sears. Sears used to have a wish book, right? And like they had this like assortment of various Marvel comics, just like random Marvel comics.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so like that's how I got Punisher
Nice.
or Sleepwalker or Silver Surfer or Ghost Rider. Like I'm not a big horror guy. I'm not a big straight up just kill guy. So like
Yeah. I'm the same way.
kind of the darker, yeah, a lot of the darker characters. I don't mean dark in skin color. I mean dark tone. Let me clarify. They just don't do it for you, boy,
Yeah.
man. Like that's just that's just not my jam, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I did watch the first Ghost Rider movie, and one day I'm gonna watch the second one. So like, I appreciate them.
Well, you know, it's funny. Last night I saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage, and all I could think about was him saying,
Yes.
"I'm Ghost Rider." Like that's all I could think about the entire time. I don't know why. Out of all of Nick Cage's movies, that's the one that came to my mind. But yeah, I'm like you, Sieber. I'm not a big horror occult guy, but I like the cosmic Ghost Rider. I like him in the background. Maybe just not as the main course. So I do want to check out that Donny Cates run though. That sounds interesting. So let's finish up Seaberry. The last book that I got a chance to read on my lunch break was Iron Fist #1. Now this one came out in February, middle of February, written by Alyssa Wong, who is currently writing the Alligator Loki Unlimited comic on Marvel Unlimited, and I'm really liking that. But written by Alyssa Wong, pencils by Michael Yig. I'm sorry, it's spelled YG. Um, YG. Okay, I don't know how you pronounce that, but covered by Jim Chung. And this is the new Iron Fist, Seabury. Now, what can you tell me about this? Because I don't know. Danny Rand gave up his powers, and now we got a new guy running around in the Iron Fist suit.
Again, I read solicits. Based on the solicits, that's what happened. Because, like, in this age, a lot of people are viewing the original Iron Fist, the OG Iron Fist, as a bit of cultural appropriation.
Yes.
And I'm like, I hear you, but also like he didn't ask for it. His like his Stephen daddy crashed the plane into Kunlun and he just kind of fell into it. And it's like, yo, I mean, Danny's pretty down. I mean, like, I love the term invited to the cookout, but if you'd invite anyone to the cookout, it would be comic Danny Rand. Maybe not Netflix Danny Rand, because he's a super douche.
Yeah.
But like comic Danny Rand, yes, I mean he had a freaking long-term relationship with Misty Knight. There were comics where he was tying her bantu knots. Like, I'm just saying, if you were going to invite someone to the cookout, it would probably be comic book Danny Rand. But okay, people have a problem, so because this is what we do now. It's like the same character but black, or the same character but Asian. That's what they do now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And
and
actually,
and again, it is something that I will probably buy in trade.
yeah. And I actually really like this first issue. I'm gonna give it a buy. Nice setup for this new character Lin Lee or Lin Lai, and I want to see where it goes. I want to see. We already got a Shang Chi book, so I want to see where this another Chinese hero goes. So we'll take a look at Iron Fist #2 when it comes out. Seabury, very much looking forward to the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Iron Fist #2 came out in March. Okay, so I got to get caught up on that, and then issue 3. I'll probably continue with that one at least for the first arc, because they're basically trying to hunt down exactly what's happening with the heart of Kunlun and what's happening with Iron Fist. So I want to see where it's going. Good art, good story. A buy from me, Iron Fist #1. And actually, Seabury, that leads into what we're going to talk about in a future episode: race, gender swapping of heroic identities. So we'll get into that on a future episode. You were going to say something?
I need the immortal weapon to show up in there, but I need some Fat Cobra.
Yeah, don't we all, Seaberry? Don't we
If
all?
you, if you know who Fat Cobra is, he's just awesome. Just Google. Well, okay, make sure you Google Fat Cobra comics. I don't know what else might come up, but Google Fat Cobra comics
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Fat Cobra Marvel comics, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
And while you're Googling that, don't forget to Google the rest of our Geek, so to speak, podcast network shows, including the Sandbox Gamers, our video game show, the Holdo Maneuver, our Star Wars show, TREKnological, our Star Trek show, and Geek, so to speak, our geek news show. While you're there, while you're Googling and you're trying to find things, don't forget to check out our boy Seaberry doing some movie reviews over at CineSundry and podcasting for Black Nerd Power. Excellent.
Yeah, you can easily find Black Nerd Power past episodes on the Kazukian app.
Nice. So, like I said, we are changing up the format a little bit. So, let us know if you like these pull list episodes and the giant sized episodes. We are, I guess, we're open to your feedback on We Love Comics. You can always leave us a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're listening to this in audio format, you can leave us a wonderful 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And, Seaberry, you may not know this. If people listen on the Anchor app, they can actually leave us a voicemail right on the app or on the Anchor website, either one, and we can play that voicemail on the show. So you can get your voice heard on We Love Comics, and that's exclusive on the Anchor app. So definitely check that out. But Seaberry, I see, I think I hear my mom calling me. The lights are coming on. We might have to call it a day, Seaberry. But
Yeah. Now you know you gotta be home for the street light turn on now.
that is 100% correct. But Seaberry, what do we like to say around here?
We love comics and you should too.